Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm here for the Raw review for April 23rd, and this time I'm doing it on my webcam because we had a 3 hour Raw, and I'm going to do an in depth analysis of tonight's show. A lot of shit went on. I think it's necessary that we discuss it at length. The show opens up with Teddy Long and we get the contract signing. Tables set up in the middle of the ring. Contracts are out. It's time. John Cena comes out, and Brock Lesnar gets his introduction. But out walks John Laurinaitis and says that contract signing is not gonna happen now. It's gonna happen on Brock Lesnar's terms because he's not there yet. I was about to say, you know, that just from seeing this, I was like, well, that was a fucking waste of time. I'm like, why did they make the segment and waste all this time? I'm like, what a way to open up Raw with a complete blunder like this. Um, Laurinaitis tells Long to tell Cena to leave the ring, but out comes Edge, and he proceeds to give an excellent promo telling Cena to toughen up, that Cena is not the same Cena he was back in 2006 that had a great TLC match with him. He's referring to Unforgiven in 2006. Yes, 2006, if you remember, this is when Edge took the title when he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase and pinned John Cena for his first ever WWE title. So this is the perfect guy actually to give the motivational speech to John Cena. If it's gonna be anybody, maybe not the perfect guy, but I think it's a pretty decent choice. Anyway, I have to say that this was a fantastic promo. John Cena didn't say anything. He puts his hands up in the air and pretty much tells him that he's got to listen to him. This is just, I'm so fucking pissed that Edge's career had to come to an early end. I mean, I know he had a long career, but promos like this, he's one of the guys that's very captivating. One of the few guys that could really deliver a memorable promo, and this was great. It wasn't even long or drawn out or anything like that. You never want a promo to be like that, but it was just, it was the right, it just came off the right way, and it was effective. And you got to give all the credit in the world to Edge. He's great behind the mic. And they used him smartly here. Giving those brief Edge appearances that we saw throughout 2011. This is a smart way to use a retired wrestler. Next matchup. Oh wow, we had Chris Jericho versus Kofi Kingston, and a pretty decent match. We get a commercial interruption, but still we got to see. This matchup was like 3 stars, I have to say. Even with the commercial break, which always ruins all these great matches a lot of times. It just came off the right way. I thought it was just perfect, evenly matched, back and forth. Kofi Kingston goes for the Trouble in Paradise. Chris Jericho blocks it, tries to go for Walls of Jericho. Kofi rolls out of it, goes for a springboard maneuver, but Jericho catches him in midair with a code breaker and then puts on the Walls of Jericho for the submission victory. What a great finishing sequence. See, that's what I like, when there's a great match, and not only just a great match, like all together, it's just all encompassed with that great finish. This is the way like most matches should be. Unless there absolutely needs to be interference to further a storyline, it's always great to have a finish that's nice and very cohesive, bringing the match to a climactic ending. That's what I love about matches like this. Just very well put together. You see matches like this, unfortunately, very rarely in WWE, and not only that in wrestling, because we see that in Impact, TNA wrestling all the time. So it was great to see that. We get a flashback. I know I don't normally do these things, but I have to say things that I like during this show. But they did a video package of Brock Lesnar and Jeff Hardy's match at Backlash in 2002. This was his first televised matchup, and who could forget it? Obliterating Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy wasn't doing so hot in 2002. He was, this was the beginning of the end for Jeff Hardy, and he would come back later on and be WWE champion, as we all know. But at this point in time, not doing so great. So he jobbed out to Brock Lesnar. The match was stopped a lot like we said the Lord Tensai matches now with stopping endings. So you can kind of see that Lord Tensai is trying to follow in the footsteps of Brock Lesnar in that respect. So, that's really interesting to see. So, in the back, what do we got? Checking my notes because I can't really remember this whole entire show. So, I use PW Torch to help me with these reviews. You see CM Punk in the back, and he shows Josh Matthews a gift he received from Jericho, and it's a basket of alcohol. Strangely enough, Punk leaves behind the Jack Daniels, but gives Matthews the rest of the basket. Ooh, foreboding. I've been liking this storyline though with Jericho and Punk. It's been going pretty good, and this reminds me of ROH with Raven and CM Punk. It's been like the same type of storyline. Watered down, of course, because that one was pretty graphic, the one in Ring of Honor. But that's, to be expected. You can't expect to have ROH style storylines with their uncensored type of content. So, anyway, speaking of Lord Tensai, he's next up, and we see Lord Tensai and R-Truth. R-Truth doesn't last long. We get a claw and whatever you want to call it, a claw slam. It's high impact. It's a pretty good finisher, and I would like to see Lord Tensai use more the Baldo Bomb Derailer, whatever you want to call it, that choke slam power bomb combo instead as his finisher. But whatever, whatever WWE wants to do in this respect doesn't really matter. Really, I have to say that R-Truth is probably going to be the next star to be released. WWE's been buried. Yeah, I know he was at WrestleMania, but this man has been buried. He's not the same R-Truth that WWE had the confidence to team up with The Miz and put him against The Rock and John Cena at Survivor Series. It seems like that match has already been forgotten about. So, R-Truth also challenged for the WWE Championship against John Cena last year. That push did not last. Anyway, enough about that. Lord Tensai, yes, I do like him. I did like Albert. I did like A-Train. He's pretty good for a big man. A pretty decent moveset. But, he's been repackaged so many times. You got Prince Albert with Droz. Then, he went with TNA, which it's probably my favorite form of Albert Matt Bloom was when he was with TNA. Voiding all his Japanese stuff because I haven't seen any of that. But as far as WWE goes, his TNA tag team with Test was pretty decent. A-Train didn't really go over as well as WWE wanted it to. But I guess he was semi-successful as he did have a lot of pay-per-view matches. Now we got him back as Lord Tensai. Anyway, enough about him already. Okay, so we got Kane coming out, cutting a promo, saying how he's disappointed in Orton, how he went down easily when he attacked him with the lead pipe about a week and a half ago on SmackDown. The blast from the past, the blast from my ass SmackDown that we had. That was a horrible fucking episode. Anyway, we see Orton's got Paul Bearer tied up backstage and is pushing him into a freezer, and Kane pretty much says that he doesn't care about Paul Bearer, even though, the psychology being here is because Kane attacked Orton's dad. Now we've got Orton attacking Kane's dad, Paul Bearer, putting him in a freezer. Kane says that he doesn't care and you can do what you please with him. This is a smart move. They tried to make it like Kane was going to be emotional, but says he doesn't care. And that was a smart move because the only way to get Kane and keep him over is make him a heartless monster. This is something WWE has continuously fucked up time and time again. Every single time WWE makes him the crazy monster, and it only lasts for a couple months, and then he goes back to being, you know, semi-monster or more human. Enough with the human bullshit. They already fucked him up by demasking him. Now they put the mask back on, which I still think is ridiculous. Kane is really washed up. But anyway, he's still going to be trouncing around WWE, so you might as well do something with him. And, you know, keeping him as the heartless bastard is the right thing to do. So, I guess this is okay. Anyway, Kane tries to leave the ring, but Orton attacks him, and we've got a brawl. And, you know, this is pretty decent build-up for this matchup. Am I excited about it? No. Their WrestleMania match was, you know, an average outing at best. Anyway, we see Alex Riley backstage, stops Chris Jericho. Where the fuck has Alex Riley been? I know he's been on NXT. I watch a little bit of NXT, not regularly because it's horrible, and I can't stand Maxine and all those other storylines. It's just ridiculous NXT. But we got Alex Riley telling Jericho backstage that that CM Punk is drinking in the locker room, and he didn't want Alex Riley there, so he kicked Alex Riley out. Wow, what a way to get Alex Riley on TV. Just being the informant. What is he, like Just Joe or something? Anyway, Chris Jericho peers into the locker room and sees that Punk is drinking from a cup that's sitting right next to a Jack Daniels bottle. Jericho is looking on with great delight, of course. Anyway, up next we got Big Show and Great Khali versus Alberto Del Rio and Cody Rhodes. As I mentioned, Del Rio is on the downturn. This is the man who had a main event matchup at WrestleMania 27. Well, an opening main event match at WrestleMania 27. Let's keep that in mind. Anyway, he's on the downturn, and but anyway, this matchup was good. Good? Did I say? No. Average at best, but that's still good by these standards, considering who was involved. Cody Rhodes and Alberto Del Rio actually worked very well together in this matchup. Surprising. But Cody Rhodes is probably the only guy in here that I like in this match. They worked the leg of Great Khali. Actually working Big Show's legs over too. Khali was selling a kayfabe injury that Cody Rhodes gave him on SmackDown. And it was, you know, it was good psychology, but really a slow-paced matchup. So not much entertainment to be had here. Anyway, I really don't see the point of this matchup. Great Khali doesn't have a match at Extreme Rules. Neither does Alberto Del Rio, unless they're going to slide in a Del Rio Khali match. I doubt that's going to happen. Anyway, Alberto Del Rio leaves the ring, leaving Cody Rhodes by himself, and Big Show gets the choke slam and the pinfall. Anyway, I don't know, the decent build up for the Rhodes Big Show match. I don't like this feud at all. It should have ended at WrestleMania. But, you know, WWE always have to draw out these feuds. I mean, this is the thing. WWE sometimes would have, during the Attitude Era, would have feuds that would last a month. Maybe we should take that psychology back into consideration, because some of these feuds are lasting way too long. Oh, look what we've got. We've got The Miz and Santino for the U.S. title on the pre-show of Extreme Rules. The Miz main evented WrestleMania 27. And now he can't even make it onto the main show of Extreme Rules. He's got to be on the pre-show, and the U.S. title, which is second to the world titles in WWE, is being defended on a pre-show. Take the U.S. title and throw it in the garbage already. Same thing with the tag titles. It's just getting pathetic already. Jericho's backstage and he tells Laurinaitis it's time to give Punk a sobriety test. Laurinaitis says that he's not sure if he could do that, but Eve says that no one can be drinking 12 hours to the show. She looked up the WWE rule book and says that it's so. Jericho says that he should take some of the police officers to the ring and give Punk a sobriety test. So this is great that Detroit's tax dollars are going into the WWE to give Punk a sobriety test on national television. That's interesting. Anyway, Brock Lesnar finally shows up to the arena when he fucking feels like it, and Josh Matthews tries to get in his face and tries to interview him. Lesnar is in no mood. He tries to ask a second question, almost gets his ass choked out, and then says that he's just trying to do his job. Blizzard gets pissed off because this is the third time that Matthews is trying to talk to him, and just fucking flings him into a fence. And that was strangely satisfying, because I can't stand Matthews. I wish it was Todd Grisham 2 years ago before Michael Cole's heel turn. I would have prayed for it to be Michael Cole. But that's not the case anymore, so it's great to see Josh Matthews getting tossed into a fence. I think that was fantastic. Anyway, next up, we've got Beth Phoenix and Nikki Bella for the Divas title. The matchup's about to begin, and we've got Eve coming out and saying that she's going to make this a Lumberjill match. So all the Divas come out to ringside to act as Lumberjills, Lumberjack. You get the picture. Same type of shit. Anyway, matchup starts, and we see that Phoenix injures herself trying to get down from the ring apron, and somehow seems like she can't continue. So Nikki finishes her off and wins the title. Now, I don't understand if this is kayfabe or this is real or not. It looked legit to me, but sometimes you can't tell. I really doubt that they would just give the title to Nikki Bella in a random episode of Raw like this. I mean, I know it was a 3-hour special, but I just don't think they would have ended it like this. I don't know, but WWE does strange things, especially nowadays with their titles. So, who really knows? We really don't, have a clear picture of what's going on here. But I'm sure we'll find out what's going on probably tomorrow, if this is legit or not, or later tonight. Anyway, we see that Teddy Long goes to the backstage area, to the locker room, to tell Punk that he's got to go out for the sobriety test in the ring. Punk seems like he's stumbling around, seems like he's drunk, and anyway, commercial break, we come back, and sobriety test in the ring. CM Punk comes out, stumbles coming to the ring, drops his belt. A cop tells him to recite his alphabet backwards. Now, I'm going to be honest about this. First of all, I hear that they don't even do this with sobriety tests anymore, because people who are sober, like CM Punk says in this segment, can naturally recite the alphabet backwards because you have to think about it. Anyway, Punk fails to do that. Really playing up the drunk angle here. Punk is asked to walk a red line that has been set up in the middle of the ring, a strip of red tape. Punk can't do it, is stumbling around. Teddy Long asks for the cop's opinion on if he's sober or drunk, and the cop says he's drunk. So Punk has to relinquish the title here to Teddy Long. Punk gives the title to Teddy Long, and Punk asks for one more chance, and wouldn't you know it, he's been selling the drunk bit and now all of a sudden he's sober. And he gets the drop on Jericho and beats the shit out of him. This is a pretty good segment. I mean, it went on for a long time, but it was a way of getting to Jericho. So Jericho wouldn't expect it, because Jericho has been taunting CM Punk from the Titantron. So Punk couldn't physically get his hands on Jericho for weeks. Now he finally got his hands on him. But, the segment was pretty long and drawn out. I don't know how they could have shortened it, really, but, it's just a shame to to get this type of build up that you have to sit through all this crap. I mean, because it takes so fucking long. I mean, I don't understand why we had to sit through all this shit. I wish they could have thought of something a little bit better, but they couldn't. So we had to sit through it. But anyway, it was good build up for the matchup, and it's going to benefit the match on Sunday. Anyway, next up we've got Mark Henry and Sheamus. When we find out that Daniel Bryan's a special guest referee, Mark Henry knocks down Sheamus and pins him. And Daniel Bryan, I keep trying to say his ROH name. That's what I'm used to. And does a quick 3 count victory. It goes to Mark Henry. Daniel Bryan leaves the ring, takes off the referee shirt. So now Sheamus can attack him, because the point of Daniel Bryan being in this matchup was because Sheamus had been fined for attacking a referee, and because Daniel Bryan was the referee and he's going to be his opponent on Sunday, it would have been interesting to see if Sheamus can control his anger and not hit a referee and be suspended, fired actually, from WWE. So that was an interesting angle. He takes off the shirt, and Sheamus tries to beat the shit out of Daniel Bryan, but Bryan turns the tables on Sheamus, kicks him in the head to Jerry style, and applies the yes lock, the former LaBelle lock, and Sheamus is reeling. And anyway, I think that this was decent build up. We're gonna see more build up, of course, on SmackDown, which is the show that they belong to, and the matchup was not really necessary. I would have liked to see another Daniel Bryan promo personally, but this works and plays up that ref angle with Sheamus at the same time, which kind of seems worthless in a way. I really don't understand why they need to have that. But anyway, we see that Taco Bell is going to be having a featured match tonight. Yeah, there's going to be a Taco Bell match on Raw, right? Okay. Anyway, we've got the tag team champions finally show up on Raw. Wow, that's just fantastic. They are finally on TV, the tag champs. You might as well throw those titles in the trash, as I said before, along with the U.S. title. It's ridiculous already. You got Primo and Epico out there, and they haven't defended the titles like God knows how long. Last week they were against Big Show and Khali, which was ridiculous. So this week we got Santino and Zack Ryder. Why is Santino going for the tag titles when he's the U.S. champion? God only knows, but they need all the tag teams they could get, so why the fuck not? So anyway, Santino and Ryder pick up the victory here with a Cobra from Santino. Primo and Epico barely get to display their skills. Nobody even remembers that they're the tag team champions half the time, because they weren't at WrestleMania. They were on the pre-show, which you had to watch on the internet, much like you're going to have to do for the U.S. title come Extreme Rules. So, it's just pretty much fucking pathetic already. And anyway, backstage, Kane gets Paul Bearer out of the freezer, but then puts him back in. They tried to play up again that Kane was going to do an act of humanity, but then throws Paul Bearer back in, showing that he doesn't give a shit. And, once again, I guess this is okay for Kane, showing that he's heartless. Let's just hope that the WWE stays consistent, which is not one of their strong suits. So, anyway, backstage, Abraham Washington, remember his successful show on ECW? Yeah, well, anyway, I haven't mentioned in my reviews that he's been back and he's been trying to get the services of random WWE superstars. So, anyway, he approaches Primo and Epico and gives them his card and says that, pretty much that they've been pathetic and they take offense to this, but he says that just show them that he can show them the way. And it's interesting also that they had Washington mention to Primo and Epico that I didn't mention before, is that they didn't even show their entrance on the tag match on TV. It was during the commercial, which never bodes well for a wrestler when they can't even make their grand entrance on TV, and it's been demoted to the commercial break. Anyway, we got our Taco Bell match. It's Brodus Clay and Hornswoggle against Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. DQ in about a minute with Vicky slapping Brodus Clay, and this is just fucking horrible. Dolph Ziggler challenged for the WWE title at Royal Rumble. That was a mere 3 months ago, and already we've got Dolph Ziggler being pushed into obscurity, pushed back into obscurity, I should say. I mean, what the fuck is going on here with Dolph? He doesn't even have a matchup at Extreme Rules. He's just one of the random guys at WrestleMania on the tag match. He's always being put into tag matches already. Enough with this. He should have been progressing beyond this at this point. I mean, he should have had a pretty reputable match at WrestleMania, given the amount of work he does. But it doesn't seem like that's the way WWE wants to take things. Anyway, we finally got the contract signing, and Lesnar is sitting down with John Laurinaitis, and we see that Cena's music plays, but he doesn't come out. So Lesnar takes the opportunity to say that he wants a bunch of things, like Vince McMahon's jet. He wants more money. He wants his name to be put on the Raw title, meaning that he wants it to be called Monday Night Raw starring Brock Lesnar. So a whole bunch of unreasonable demands, but Laurinaitis agrees to meet these demands. I thought that this was great. I mean, it plays up that Lesnar is not just any other wrestler in WWE, but he's actually a commodity, that he's a trademark, that he's not the same person that was with WWE from 2002 to 2004. He is much different now, and I think that came over well. So Cena comes out and he's sporting his chain and lock, which was very reminiscent of his 2004 rapping gimmick. Anyway, he comes out, and after a long stare down with Brock Lesnar, actually signs a contract. And after he does that, Cena and Brock Lesnar circle the table and then leave. This was a little bit anticlimactic, because it would have been nice to see a big fucking brawl to end the show. Because the thing is, John Cena looks scared at the end of this segment. Now, shouldn't Edge's pep talk and the 3 hours that just passed, don't you think that Cena should have found the cojones to stand up to Brock Lesnar physically? Well, that wasn't the case. So a bit of a flat ending, but it was okay. It got its point across. Brock Lesnar is definitely the biggest heel in WWE, and I think he got a lot of credibility from this segment. He's a commodity, a trademark. He's big. He seems like the biggest star that WWE's had in quite some time, and I think that the segment successfully put that over. Overall, this Raw was good when it came to the build-up. As far as the wrestling action, it was modest at best. With Kofi and Jericho really taking match of the night here. With a 3-hour Raw, you would expect a little bit better wrestling action, but this was mostly just this is a 3-hour Raw for a reason. They needed to put as much build-up as they could, and as a build-up show, it succeeded. Should they have ended the last segment a lot differently? Yes, they should have, but everything else was moderately a success. So Extreme Rules seems like it's going to turn out to be a decent show at best. Not the best. It seems like we have a lot of WrestleMania rematches, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's just unfortunate that a lot of those rematches are matches that we wanted to see again, like Kane and Orton again, and Big Show and Rhodes again. We'd rather see the titles on the line, tag titles, United States Championship, but that's going to be on the pre-show. So, anyway, what can you do? WWE is fucking up, but succeeding in a lot of respects. So, we're gonna have to see what happens Sunday, and you'll definitely hear from me about that show in some fashion. So stay tuned.